Good day, everyone. This is Pilot Mules, and welcome to DDO Players, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. Please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody, how's it going?
Everything's going fine here. How are things in Barovia?
Yeah, same old, same old.
Same old, same old. Yes, those peasants never give you a break.
They do not. It's always the peasant's fault.
It's
Always.
always the peasants' fault, no matter what it is. If there's a blood shortage, it's the peasants' fault.
Usually, yes, yes.
hmm Let's head into our game news, and we'll begin with the release notes for update 46.4.2, and it's a huge update, right?
Okay, now you're gonna have to grab a drink, pull up a chair, sit down, because you're not gonna be able to stand for this, because this is gonna take way too long. Are you ready?
All right.
We are gonna get through these release notes. Here we go. Players running the game through Steam will now open the DDO store in an external web browser. This change will resolve an issue where players were unable to make purchases using their Steam wallet.
And I can verify that when I went to the store, it was in the can't remember whether it was this game or the other one. I think it was in this game, where yes, indeed, when I tried to open the store, it sent me to my external browser.
And it should open up to whatever you have your default browser. So
Yes.
whatever your browser of choice, that will open up. Tip for you, if you have any pop-ups, blockers, ad blockers, anything like that, you might want to whitelist the store site, because you will probably have a bad time if you're using those with the store.
I must have whitelisted the store then at some time ago then, because I don't recall having any troubles.
Okay, I was going to actually try to test it out, but I didn't. But yes, so just keep that in mind. Once again, this was done as the easiest fix they could come up with to fix the Steam Wallet issue, which affected quite a few people. I didn't realize that many people bought stuff for DDO through Steam, but apparently they do. But it does make sense, though, because if you were given Steam gift cards, for your birthday or Christmas or whatever, and you had Steam gift cards sitting in your wallet, that's quote unquote free money you could spend. So I guess it makes sense that there was a lot of people using Steam. So that's it. The hardcore leaderboard, which we talked about in the last episode, how it was not updating. It is now updating. All you have to do, if you have a living character still on the hardcore world, you just need to log in. And that'll update the leaderboard, and that'll put your character back on the leaderboard if you have fell off. Once again, you don't have to do anything else. You can just log in and log right back out.
All right. Now, all they have to do is be able to reopen transfers when the season ends, right?
Exactly, which hopefully that will happen. They're still working on those. I guess there's still some underlying issues with world transfers, but supposedly soon, from what could have been said today.
Yes. Well, they will need to, because on the other game where they had their own league that was done earlier this summer, the deadline for transferring characters is September 15th.
Oh, well, they best be hurrying up then.
They best be hurrying up if they're going to do that. Either that or whatever they're planning on using that server for right now is going to have to get delayed, because I believe they have other plans for that server, but they can't do it until, of course, transfers are closed.
So stay tuned for that. And the last patch note, that's right, there was 3 things in this patch. There is now a let's try that again.
Commemorative?
That's the word I was looking for. There are now commemorative plaques, say that a couple times fast, in the Hall of Heroes. That's listing the top 100 leaderboards for Hardcore Season 1 and 2.
So we can only hope that Season 3 doesn't take that long to get up there when they're done?
Hopefully not. I assume they know the best way to do it now, and they can just pop Season 3 right in there. But there you go. Update 46.4.2.
surprised we made it through it.
I know, me too. I was worried there for a second. It was close.
Let's then head into the DDO Chronicle, which we hope is a little bit more substantial, which is issue 395, getting close to 400, wherever these guys are at.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. I don't know where all those characters are. It does not look familiar to me. It's kind of a cool screenshot of Ranger, Fighter, Paladin, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure what the guy in the back is.
The guy in the back? Well,
Sorcerer, Druid, somebody that
yeah,
uses staves.
maybe a wizard or wizard,
Maybe.
sorcerer, someone like that. It looks more like a wizard staff than a.
Yeah, I guess it does kind of look wizardry.
I think a monk staff would look a little bit different.
True, it would. It would. You're right. It would. So yeah, I don't know where that is, but that's a cool little shot nonetheless. In the community spotlights, Alex has a new video where he dove into the shifter that was on Lamania, on the last build of Lamania, so check that out. Little tip, that's why we don't have a video, because Alex beat me to it, and his videos were amazing, so I thought, I don't need to do one now. He did it. So there you go. Thanks, Alex. You saved me some work. DDO Cast is also talking about Update 47. Click to listen or watch their latest episode. And Strim Tom has a question. How good is the Sun Flask? Well, click over and watch his video and find out.
Was there any quick verdict in there, or?
I have not watched that video yet, so I don't know. I'm sure
Actually,
he found.
Yeah.
So he found some way to min max the Sun Flask. I'm sure it's Strim Tom.
So yeah. Well, I think I have a couple in my inventory on some of my characters. I just never bothered using them. So
I'm pretty sure I have some too, and I always forget to use it too. Especially when I'm around undead, that would be perfect. But I always forget to use it. The fan site news section of our Chronicle. Don't forget about DDO stream. That's your first stop to find DDO over on Twitch with Doug Glendower. He does a giveaway. Brighter days ahead tonight. It marks the end of summer and Ankit Quest. Also, elsewhere on Twitch, Strim Tom is getting excited. Warbland Wind slays. And Cobalt Even sings DDO Filks for Extra Life. Okay. And there are lots of people streaming DDO and making videos of DDO over on YouTube as well. Louis7, who is a regular Lotro video maker, is checking out DDO. And Serious Game helps people get started. And free-to-play DDO is running Fire on Thunder Peak with 3 people. And that is the fan site news. We do have a Chronicle comment, as of always. If your main character had a nickname, what would it be?
I guess my first question is, do diminutives count as nicknames or not?
Sure, why not?
Because my main character would, of course, be Pineleaf, and everyone just calls him Pine.
True. And that's kind of what I was going to say, too, because technically my main character, of course, is Dracula, and everybody calls me Drac, so I suppose Drac would be my nickname. But if you actually want a real nickname, Stabby
like an
Stabby.
epithet or something like that.
Stabby Stabby would be my nickname.
Stabby Stabby, yes.
Or the Taker of Kidneys. That would be.
Taker of Kidneys.
If you played with my rogue, you know what I mean.
I thought you'd give me the nickname of Mr. Wowzer or something like that.
Wow. What? I'm trying to think of what would your nickname be. That's a tough one, actually. I'll have to think about that, because that's a tough one, because Pineleaf is. There is many facets to Pineleaf.
There are many facets to Pineleaf.
Many facets, and as you play more, you see sides of Pineleaf that just have you going, wow. Especially when he drops the Pineleaf logic on you, and you're just like, okay, that's deep, man. That's deep.
What about the screenshot of the week?
Sure, screenshot of the week. We have Forest Friends. I guess it's Panruss the Druid is receiving information from his Forest Friends in the 479th DDO screenshot of the week. There are deer. There's a wolf. There's.
I see a fox. Is that a fox or a
Just gonna
cat?
say, I think it's a fox.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool screenshot. That is in the storm horns, I do believe, is where that screenshot comes from.
All right.
Looks storm hornish to me. And that's our chronicle. That's it.
Then let's head to what's coming in from the dungeon. Where Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden,
I was waiting to see how you were going to pronounce this.
Oh, this one is the
I've been waiting all night for this.
Arvia Turrent's premium set.
That was pretty good, actually. If you want the official way to pronounce it,
Yeah.
according to the Forgotten Realms, it is pronounced ARVAY-AH with the emphasis on the AH, CHURUS. I think I just wrote
Arvaturance? Arvaturance? Okay, well that's
it's like
all right.
Arvaturus.
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 Okay, I think I'm starting to like the Baker version of pronunciation.
Exactly. How Ed Greenwood came up with some of this crap is beyond me. I'm trying to set up an interview with Mr. Greenwood, and I would just like to ask him, how the hell did you think up some of these names? But anyway, back to the premium mini set that we're talking about. Can you really call this one mini, though? WizKids has announced a new D&D Icons in the Realm miniature set. This is a dragon miniature, and it's going to be used for use with the new Icewind Dale book, Rime of the Frost Maiden. This is going to come out January of 2021. This is the ancient white dragon that soars over the icy peaks of Icewind Dale. She's unusually large for her breed of the chromatic dragon, which their press release made no sense because they said chromatic dragon and then they said white dragon. She is actually a white dragon. So, bad press release. Anyway, the miniature for this stands 7.5 inches tall, and it measures 16.5 inches from nose to tail, and the wingspan is 17 inches.
Oh, great. So it's only a miniature from relative to the size of a real dragon. Well, okay, real dragon isn't exactly
gonna say, can you really say real dragon? But yeah. So, that brings up the question: how big is big to be called a miniature? I mean, okay. This is a highly detailed pre-painted piece, and it does come with a saddle and a rider that sits on the dragon's scaly back. This miniature is going to be hard to come by, though, as it only comes 1 to a carton. So your friendly local game store can order the Icons of the Realm Icewind Dale sets. There's going to be 1 dragon per carton, and it's $99.99 is the MSRP on this. So good luck getting one.
All right. I could think of one that could be even worse in being less miniature, more expensive, and much bigger.
Okay.
Chandra Nalar.
Some people are going, who? What? Who's Chandra Nalar? What? If you play Magic the Gathering, you know who she is. WizKids also is bringing this out. Are you a big fan of Magic? Like, do you love Magic so much? Like, are you like the world's biggest Magic the Gathering fan? Would you want a life-size Chandra Nalar figure? Full-scale figure, mind you. Stands
full scale.
5 feet, 6 inches from head to toe. You can get it if you would like. It's going to set you back $1,200, but you can get this. That's right. This is a life-size, full-scale, 5 feet 6, head to toe, rubber, molded foam. I don't know what you call it, sculpture, I guess. Of course, this was inspired by her look in many of the Magic the Gathering artworks. It's going to, as I said, cost you $1,200 if you would like this. God knows how much it's going to cost to ship this thing. Good luck with the shipping. It looks pretty darn cool, though, but $1,200, I don't know. Well, I don't really play Magic. I mean, I used to play Magic. I kind of play it on and off. I'm not a big, huge Magic person, but you really got to love Magic to spend $1,200 on this thing.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, it's cool looking. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, $1,200.
$100, that's a lot of money.
Not including shipping.
Not including shipping.
And I'm sure shipping is going to be another couple $100 probably, because I'm sure the thing's heavy. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. WizKids stretching the term miniature.
Well, I don't think it...
Well, okay, the Chandra, they never called it miniature, but the dragon, they did call it miniature, and I'm like, that's not really miniature, but okay.
Well, as I said, miniature depends on what is relative. I think you use term relative at a certain point when you're at below a certain scale size. And
oh, so you're taking the term miniature literally to mean a miniature version of something.
right, and a dragon isn't exactly now, especially when you're saying that this is not only a white dragon, this is a relatively large white dragon. So it's probably on the size of a green dragon, maybe.
Let me see if I can.
Particular white dragon, or
yeah, I was trying to find real quick if I could find like her size anywhere real quick, and I can't find it quick enough. No, I can't find actually how big she was, but she was relatively large for a white dragon. I do remember that.
All right, and that's all right. So that's it on things. You could either get an expensive dragon or a very expensive planeswalker.
Yeah, there you go. The choice is yours.
Your choice is yours.
Dragon or planeswalker, you choose.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't a full-scale model of Chandra riding a dragon.
Oh, see, now you're just mixing worlds, finally.
We're mixing. Well, there are dragons in.
There are, yes, there
yes,
are.
There are. Let's go and see what's on the tabletop. Where Zombie Teens Evolution is coming from Yellow.
That's right. This is the sequel to Zombie Kids. This is teens this time. The other was kids, and now we have Zombie Teens. That's how that works. See, a good name for the game. It tells you exactly what it is. Zombies are terrorizing the town, and a few teens have been charged with finding 4 ingredients that can create an antidote that will turn the zombies back to people. This standalone game is completely compatible with the original, but it features a double-sided board versus the other game only has a single side board, and it also offers more strategic gameplay than the original game, and the content is a little more varied as well. 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, plays in about 20 minutes. Retail on this is going to be $24.99. Coming out later this year. No exact date was announced by Yellow. Oh, I'm sorry, November 12th. They did announce it.
On November 12th. Then this is a co-op?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's fully co-op too. Well, I'm assuming it is. They didn't say that, but these Zombie Kids Evolution, it was fully co-op.
All right. I think that makes sense then.
Yeah, it was basically, this is what you could call like the beginner zombie game. This is like the zombie game. It's a nice, friendly zombie game that you can get your kids into. So it's not like gory or anything like that. And it's kind of whimsical. I mean, if you can have whimsical zombies. But if you look back at, I think, Gen Con 2 years ago, When we were in the yellow booth talking to them, we looked at Zombie Teens Evolution, or Zombie Kids Evolution, sorry. I'll have to link that video. I'll have to find that video on our YouTube playlist and link it. So, but we kind of talked about Zombie Kids Evolution. So it's basically that. They just added a little more, upgraded it, double-sided board, added a little more strategery to it. But it looked pretty fun. I have not played Zombie Kids Evolution. I kind of messed with it a little bit at Gen Con that year, but didn't actually play it. We were supposed to get a review copy of it, and I don't remember what happened. There was a big to-do at Yellow at the time, and we never did get the review of it. But nonetheless, November 12th, you can get your hands on this.
Then let's head on to our Week in Gaming. And Draculetta, what were you up to?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Much, a little bit. Did play some DDO with you. We actually talked Pineleaf into going to the Menectrian Desert, believe it or not. Not quite sure how I talked him into that, because he has this thing. If a mummy is anywhere within like 40 yards from him, he'll instantly get mummy rot, is pretty much what it boils down to.
Yeah, I do tend to be susceptible to that.
So he does tend to avoid the desert, but I actually talked him into going to the desert. We started out with the Desert Caravan, which of course leads you into the desert. Then we did some slayers out there. We did raid the Valkyrum, an Offering of Blood, the Fallen Shrine, Chamber of Ramat, and the Chamber of Korash. And with those, we actually hit level 12.
Yay!
So we're ready for the next part of the desert, which is actually level 12. So funny how that worked out.
Amazing.
And that was pretty much it for DDO. Did play some video games. Played Vampire. Actually restarted that on the PC this time. If you remember, I talked about it last time I talked about it. I was playing it on the Xbox One. I actually did get it for the PC. It was on sale at one point. And I'm like, yes, mine. Thank you. So I started that, doing it a little different than I did it on the Xbox One, just to see how much the story varies. I'm making some different choices. So that's kind of fun. So I'm about 25, 30 minutes into it maybe. So just getting to the good part of the story. So I will continue to talk about that in the next couple of weeks until I finish that, hopefully. That was it for video games. Did do some D&D stuff related to D&D, I guess. I am prepping to run a classic AD&D 1E adventure for my friends.
A 1E adventure.
Yes, in a couple weeks, my friends and I are going to play some old school D&D. I chose a classic adventure. Not going to name it, because I know one of them listens to the podcast, and I want it to be a surprise.
All right. So let's see. Now, how does Seiko work?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just and I forgot. Like, if you're not familiar, like the classic AD&D stuff is way different than the 5e stuff.
Oh boy!
Because the prep for the DM is insane. Because they don't lay a lot of stuff out. They just say, this is the room. This could be in the room. You figure out what you want to do. So I'm like, okay, I got to put monsters in that room. I got to do monsters there. I got to figure out what that means. So yeah, it's interesting to say the least, to go back to some of this old school stuff. But yeah, it's going to be fun. We have a text thread, and we just started talking about like classic D&D and how, you know, back in the day it was like you could actually get killed playing D&D, which in 5e, let's face it, it's really hard to kill a 5e character. Like really, really hard. So that brought up, it's like, well, why don't we play some old school D&D? So we're going to do that in 2 weeks, not next weekend, but the weekend after. So a couple weeks.
No, you're not going to make it now. No. All right, since the object is to see if you could kill them,
it's not.
You're not going to make it. Yeah, you're not going to make it exceedingly easy. Okay.
No, I'm not. No.
Oh, okay,
but it's not the Tomb of Horrors, though. which I
All
know
right.
that's what a lot of people are thinking. I wanted to do the Tomb of Horror so bad, but no, this is a adventure for first level characters. So I was going to be level 1.
Everyone's going to be in level
We'll see.
1. All right. So,
We'll see.
so, uh, oh, yeah, but you got to be careful there. I said, if the first words they hear is "Welcome to Hamlet," they should run in the other direction.
Yeah. Maybe. No, no, it's not that either. I think I'm going to surprise him, so we'll see.
Okay, okay.
So in 2 weeks, I'll tell you
So,
exactly
so,
what it
so,
was and
so,
how it went.
all right, good. That'll be good here. Oh boy, prepping for a classic one, and you have to worry about the. All right, this weapon versus this type of armor.
Yeah, I forgot. It's a lot of work. It's like D&D back in the day was hard.
Well,
There's a
yeah,
lot of stuff. And I was reading about THACO again, and I'm like, oh my God, my head hurts already just thinking about this. And we haven't even rolled any dice in combat yet. It's like, oh my
well,
God.
and that was the one where one of the big differences in fight is back in those days, human characters were not allowed to multi-class.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, that was like, and which is really shocking when I read the 3E rules, and the humans were the easiest class to multi-class, which were easiest race to multi-class under 3E.
Yeah, it's great. I had forgot a lot of this stuff, and I'm just like going back, like prepping for this, and I'm like, holy cow, this is
Yeah,
gonna be fun, but dang, this is a lot of work.
a lot of
So
work.
we'll see how
Yeah.
that goes. Then I played a little bit of tabletop. Played one game actually. Played role player for the first time.
Oh, role player. Were you playing? So it was the first time that it was just a base set then.
Yes. Yep. I haven't. I have the expansions, but I have not played with any of them yet. I figured I'd
Okay.
play the base game a couple times.
All right.
Played one time. I like it. It's different. I'll put it that way. It's not exactly what I was expecting, but I'm having some fun with it. So I hopefully this week I'll get to play more with that, and I might break out some of the expansions too. But
All
we'll
right.
see.
Did you play solo or did you play with a group?
Solo.
All right. And how'd your score go?
Man, I don't remember. I'll have to look.
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember. It wasn't that great, so that's why I
Yeah.
can't remember what it
Oh,
was. But
yeah. I guess that would be a reason not to remember it.
yeah, I'd have to go grab the sheet. But yeah, it's not that great. But
Yeah.
hopefully that will improve my next play as well too. So we'll see.
Well, one could only hope. Yes.
And that is really all I did this week. How about you?
All right. I'll begin with my Drow Ranger, where I created a new character. Again, this is of course with my Borderlands challenge to play every single race and class in there. So this time I decided to try a Drow.
Is this
Now,
the first time you played a drow?
I've played a Drow
Oh, have you?
before
Okay.
I believe it was during the Temple challenge, or
Oh,
is
okay.
it that or during my Warlock challenge? One of those two times I played a Drow.
Okay.
Now I had to play this because usually I've been playing them on Orion, but this time I played this specific one on Caneth instead because that's the only server where I have the Drow unlocked. Maybe someday I'll have to, when it's on sale, I should maybe just buy the Drow so I won't have to worry about that when I go to another server. So when I next time on one of these challenges, I don't say, okay, now do I have any slots left? In fact, it was my last character slot that I used in order to make this Drow Ranger. So I created a ranger. I was originally planning on a cleric for this one, but I've swapped it around. I'm considering using the shifter to play the cleric. I still haven't decided, but I wanted to keep that option open. So I moved the ranger over to the drow. And I've heard occasionally that there have been drow rangers, right?
Maybe one
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
famous. Maybe
Yeah.
rumor has it.
Yeah, something like that. So I ran all the quests in there, KHBs, treasure hunter and treasure hunt, bugbear bandits. Then after bugbear bandits, I returned to the keep because I wanted to put some XP into enhancements. Uh, y- since I gained a couple of bubbles. So I went to pick up a couple of enhancements there so I could use that. And my main thing was to get my arrow summoning because I didn't have any enhancements going out of the keep. So I went into the keep, got my arrow summoning. So I have my arrow. Was able to get some of my arrows. I had better arrows and could do that. Then I went and did Watch Your Step, and I decided to try stopping the runner using my bow, and I came to the conclusion that was a bad idea because the runner got away. Because it's been a long time since I failed to get since I failed to stop the runner, and all the other ones where I think I was doing melee type attacks on them. So I concluded then trying to shoot arrows at the runner just means you're going to have a big difficult time because of all the twists and turns that are in there. Then, of course, running, obstructing orcs, and the hobgoblin horde. Then I got the violent delights. Now, violent delights is always the real test because remember, my rule is to try to run these without a cleric if possible. So I decided I will back into that little side room, not where the mobs are coming in at, but from the side room in there and see if that helps me any. And I actually managed to wipe out the cultists without resorting to changing from my bow. So I was able to use the bow all the way through that fight, which was a major surprise there.
Oh, nice.
So actually, that was one of the easier times I had. I was expecting to have a tough time with that one since I was playing a ranged character, but no, I wiped them out, and of course did Total Chaos to finish Total. Of course, after Violent Delights, as usual, I leveled up to 2, then went to do Total Chaos and finished everything up. So that finished up the Keep of the Borderlands, and that means I have only 3 left. I have my Dragonborn to go, the Shifter to go, and then I have my Monk to go. And the Monk can be any race since I've got all the, because once I had the Dragonborn go and the Shifter go, I would have done at least one for all the races.
And
So
this was part of your challenge you set up for yourself, or not challenge, but I guess your New Year's
yeah,
resolution, right?
yeah, that's one of my New Year's goals is to get through all of the characters and classes and keep on the Borderlands.
So again, Pine Leaf is going to do all of his goals, and I'm going to do none of mine. Yay for me!
You haven't gotten any of them done yet?
No,
Oh.
no. Maybe next week we'll revisit those and check in and see how good Pine Leaf is doing and how sucky Drac is doing.
You don't want to put that off for a few months. All
Yeah.
right. Then in solo con, which is some tabletop gaming first for the solo con, where to finish off the animal solo con, I played Castles of Burgundy. This is the first time I played Castles of Burgundy, so I got a new game for me. Yeah, I think I played the card version of it. This is the first time playing the original game with all the hex tiles on it. That seemed to be a bit of fun in order to do that. And then the new solo con theme is railroads and mountains. And of course, if you're doing one called Railroads and Mountains, the first game, of course, to come up is Snowdonia, which is all about building a railroad that goes up a mountain. Then I played Spirit Island, where one of the terrains in the game are mountains in there. So I chose an earth spirit that's associated with the mountains and starts
Okay, I
the
was about to ask, how the
stickberry in the
heck did you
mountains.
tie that into railroads and mountains? But
No,
okay.
no, no. You're required to have at least one of the two. You don't have
Oh,
to have
okay.
both. I
Okay.
suppose I could have checked to see if there was an adversary that used railroads or anything like that, but I have a feeling that none of them do because I think it's set a century before railroads existed.
Okay.
Yeah. And then cartographers, which of course has the preset mountains that are on the board. So I said it's one of my goals in this particular run to place myself as adjacent to try to put myself adjacent to mountains as often as possible is why I decided on there. In fact, I believe I had only one edge next to one of the mountains in there that was not covered at the end because there are 5 mountains, I think, so 20 edges, and I had 19 of them covered. by the time I finished in there. So I think I did pretty well on that. In fact, I believe that was the first time I ever got to the maximum tier in cartographers when playing it. So that one went pretty well. Let me make sure I got that right. Let's see. Cartographers. Yeah, yeah. The first time I got to the legendary tier for that, 36 points on that one. So I had a lot of luck on that one too. In addition to trying to bring in those mountains. Next, commands and colors, tricorn. And you say, and I played the Battle of Kings Mountain for that one, which is how I brought the mountain into that.
Eh, I'm calling shenanigans on that, but okay.
What?
I mean, I guess it's a mountain. Okay.
The battle's being fought on a mountain.
Okay. Okay. All
How's
right.
that? Because the British had set up camp on the mountain slope, and and we have to then the continental forces have to get up the mountain in order to get to the British.
Okay. All right.
And
Pine Leaf Logic for the win.
yeah, so I figured I thought that counted on there. And then finally, I played a roll and write game that I just discovered called 30 Rails, where someone else who was doing the challenge was in the con posted a game of 30 Rails, so I decided I had to get it also. This is a roll and write, as I said before. It's roll and write is also a print and play. So you could just print out the sheet and the rules, and you're good to go at that point. You don't have to wait to get it at a store or anything like that. So it's one of those. I did a couple plays of that. I got 49 points on my first attempt, where I think I would have considered a win to be getting at least 50 points. So I was just a little shy on that. And then on other tabletop games that aren't part of that challenge, I played some Rallyman GT for the September Rallyman challenge that we have in there. This was a 2-lap race with a good number of sharp curves in there. We had drive pavement, at least, thank goodness for this time. And I managed to get through the entire run without crashing once, which is good. Now, during the practice runs, I did have a couple of crashes in there, but when I did the official run, I didn't have any of them, so that was great. Then, after that, I found a game that had been missing for a while. I couldn't find it for the last 3 months. I'd been looking and looking for this game. I just couldn't find it, but I finally found it yesterday, and that's Role Player.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I found my copy of Role Player. Yeah, that's why I thought it was interesting when you said you were playing Role Player for the first
Yeah.
time. Is I found my copy of Role Player and played that. Now I think I had only played it once before, so this is only so I decided to play it twice this time around. First, I played it without the expansion because I figured I needed to remember how to play the game first. So I played that, and I got 25 points, which is just short of a decent score.
Oh wow,
It,
that I really sucked then.
yeah, because they called it. I think they call that hireling level. I think the lowest level is NPC. Then the second tier is hireling, and 25 is the end of that one. So you need 26 in order to be called real adventurer in there. So I just missed out on that, unfortunately. And I was playing an elf cleric on that one. Then I decided, all right, let's bring in the monsters. So I brought out the monsters, played with the expansion in there, and I decided to make an emphasis on the monster side. In fact, I had some areas where I did very well in. I managed to get 2 points from killing the monster. So I did manage to kill the monster and survive. That was good. I also managed to meet all of my attribute goals, which I did not do with my cleric. This time I was playing a dragon, a dragonkin. Ooh, what was the class? It was a monk, a dragonkin monk. And how's that a strange one for you? And so it won't make me think of a joke. Maybe that's a sign that I should play my Dragonborn as a monk instead of. I was thinking of a sorcerer, but maybe I should make the monk the Dragonborn,
Well, there you go.
just in honor of this game of role player that I just did here. I managed to complete all 6 of my attribute goals. So I thought, well, that was great. I managed to complete all of my background goals. That was great. I managed to get the alignment into the perfect spot. That was great. It says this. So I killed the monster and I did all of that stuff. No armor. Not a single piece of armor. Let's see. Let's see. No traits. No, no, actually, no, I got one trait, but I did not have any stars as a result of that trait. So I didn't meet the qualifications for any stars on that one. So I did great on all this section here, and in the other section I got absolutely nothing for the rest of it. Actually, I forgot to count whether or not I got money. I forgot to count my money at the end because it was a solo game. So I do have to check that out. Because if it is, then that could be useful. But I have a feeling I might be borderline because I need at least 8 coins. If I got at least 8 coins, I got one more victory point that I didn't consider in it because that would be important because after all said and done, I had 25 points. Exactly the same as in the other game. So I'm gonna have to go and find out whether or not I had enough money for that because I forgot to count the money when I was counting my score. It was getting close to showtime, and I had time to dot every I on that. Then after that, we have tabletop apps. So the first game I played there was Roll for the Galaxy. You heard of that game?
Indeed. Review
Indeed.
coming soon. Spoiler alert.
Yes. I played 4 games of that. I first did a game against the Easy AI, and that was basically to remember how to play Roll for the Galaxy. And of course, the Easy AI in board games, I usually find them to be, well, easy. It's well named. That's all I got to say about that particular one.
Usually, yes.
Yes. So after that, I played one where I had one easy opponent and one medium opponent. I said, let's see how I'm doing that. The easy opponent, of course, did even worse than the easy opponent when I was playing just against that player. And the medium opponent, during the first half of the game, was giving me a challenge, but I managed to pass at the end and I was able to get a win. So that went all well. Then I played against just the medium AI and see how I did there. And that one, I learned that the medium AI seems to love getting worlds and developments as fast as possible because I was just being left behind in there. And by the time I figured out what my opponent was doing, it was too late and I lost that game. So I thought, all right, let's play another round. This time, I caught on to what the AI was doing. Well, so the AI was a little ahead and started having all these rolls, and I started trying my best to get some victory points in there, and I got my share in there. And the AI was 2 worlds, 2 tiles away from finishing up, and I gotta say, I've gotta make sure I get some points in there, so I say, "Alright, I'll set myself up for the next turn, and I'll be great on there, and I think I'll do it." Then the AI went and finished the game on that turn, so 1 turn earlier than I was expecting, and I saw the final score pop up, 22-22. We go to the tiebreaker, 6-6.
Oh, good grief.
Now, my plan was to have what I like in a game is that the easy one be easy, the medium one be about my level when I have some idea how the game operates, and that the hard one will kick me in the teeth until I get more experience. That sounds about right, yeah? So here we go. Easy one was easy. Medium one, where I played straight on after having some idea of strategy. I get an exact tie. So yes, I have a feeling I've found my level for now because I'm sure if I played the hard AI, I'm going to get kicked in the teeth. I also played 4 games of Eon's End on the app version and a little bit of Star Realms. And that is my week in gaming. We currently have 14 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. Your money is used for our podcast hosting, website hosting, and to pay for our live shows. If you would like to donate without using Patreon, you could contact drac at We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You can also Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Dracula at Dracula underscore Sim2, and Piney at Piney Needles. The Players Alliance has 3 shows on Mondays at 7 p.m. US Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. On Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have Locha Players News. And if you wish to follow XP Quest, please follow their at XP on Twitter to find out when the shows go live because they like to start their shows at random times. But just remember that XP Quest is not Piney friendly. You can join us for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Piney Needles reminding you to socialize responsibly.